In this video we will be summarising Macbeth, Act 2, Scenes 1 to 4. Before we get started, please like and subscribe. Your support really does help the channel. Act 2 begins with Banquo struggling to sleep because he has not stopped thinking about the witch's prophecies. Macbeth enters, and Banquo confides in Macbeth about the thoughts he has been having. Macbeth, who has already decided to kill King Duncan, lies to Banquo and tells him he hasn't thought about the witches at all since their meeting upon the heath.
Lies! 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 Lies!
When Banquo leaves, Macbeth then begins to prepare to commit the murder. He hallucinates that there is a dagger in front of him, telling the audience, "Is this a dagger I see before me, the handle in my hand?" Macbeth tries to grasp the weapon and fails. He wonders whether what he sees is real or whether he is hallucinating because of his heat-oppressed brain. Continuing to gaze upon the dagger, he thinks he sees blood on the blade, then abruptly decides that the vision is just his mind playing tricks on him and he is nervous about killing King Duncan.
My mind's telling me no.
The night around him seems thick with horror and witchcraft, but Macbeth stiffens and resolves to complete his plan regardless.
Mission complete!
A bell tolls. Lady Macbeth signals that the chamberlains are asleep, and Macbeth glides towards Duncan's chamber. The weather takes a turn for the worse during the night. Just as Macbeth is committing the murder, Lady Macbeth hears Macbeth cry out, and she worries that the guards will have awakened. She curses Macbeth for struggling to execute what she considers a faultless plan, and verbalises that she would have done the deed herself if Duncan had not resembled her father. Macbeth eventually arrives. He tells Lady Macbeth the deed is done. His mental instability then begins to unravel, and Macbeth claims that he thought he heard a voice cry out, "Sleep no more, Macbeth does murder sleep."
Murder, murder, murder! Kill, kill, kill!
Lady Macbeth tries to calm her husband, but quickly realises he has brought the bloody daggers with him rather than leave them at Duncan's chamber.
Go!
Lady Macbeth takes the daggers and places them on the guards herself in order to blackmail them. She then tells Macbeth a little water will clear them of this deed. As the morning comes, a porter arrives, waking up everybody in the castle.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Macduff emerges and asks Macbeth to take him to the king's chamber. A nobleman, Lennox, begins to talk about the horrific weather during the night before being cut short with screams from Macduff of murder. Emanating from Duncan's chamber. Macbeth and Lennox rush into the chamber to be greeted by the body of the murdered Duncan. Lady Macbeth appears and expresses her horror, and chaos ensues. As Macbeth and Lennox emerge from the bedroom, Duncan's sons Malcolm and Donalbain arrive on the scene. They are told that their father has been killed, most likely by his guards who were found with bloody daggers on them. Macbeth declares that in his rage he has killed the guards. Macduff is immediately suspicious.
What you say?
But before Macbeth can be properly questioned, Lady Macbeth pretends to faint, thus taking the attention off her husband. Malcolm and Donalbain whisper to each other that they are not safe, since whoever killed their father will probably try to kill them next. Malcolm declares that he will go south to England and Donalbain will go to Ireland. Ross, one of the king's thanes, walks outside the castle with an old man. They discuss the strange happenings of the past few days. It is daytime but still dark outside. They talk about Duncan's usually obedient horses turning wild and killing each other, seemingly out of nowhere. Macduff emerges from the castle and tells Ross that Macbeth has been made king by the other lords.
I am the king and will not be. I am the king and will not.
Macduff adds that the guards seem the most likely murderers, and they may have been paid off by someone to kill Duncan. Suspicion has now fallen on the two princes, Malcolm and Donalbain, because they have fled the scene. To summarise, Banquo tells Macbeth he hasn't stopped thinking about the witches. Macbeth lies and says he hasn't thought about them at all, even though he plans to kill Duncan that very night. After Macbeth kills Duncan, he returns to Lady Macbeth struggling with the act he's just committed. Lady Macbeth helps place the daggers on sleeping guards and tells Macbeth that a little water will clear them of this deed. The next morning, Macduff discovers King Duncan has been murdered. Macbeth, in a rage, kills the guards. Macduff is not convinced. Before Macduff can question Macbeth, Lady Macbeth pretends to faint to take the attention off her husband. Duncan's sons, Malcolm and Donalbain, realise they are both in danger and decide to flee to England and Ireland respectively. Ross and the old man talk about the strange goings on during the night, how despite the fact that it's daytime it is still dark outside and Duncan's usually tame horses had went wild and killed each other. Macduff reveals that suspicion has fallen on Malcolm and Donalbain and that Macbeth will become king. Key quotes. Pause the video now to review some key quotes from Act 2. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.
Bye, Felicia.